Yep.
Well, moving on to the next topic, we got coach hot seats. So I'm gonna
Yep.
name a team, and you're gonna say if that head coach is on a hot seat, if they're warm, hot, or cold. So either they're
All
freezing
right.
cold, that can fire this off season. Warm is depends on how the rest of the season goes, and hot is you better just start packing right now. You're gone. So number one, since you said his name, Lovey Smith with the Texans. Is he on the hot seat, warm seat, or freezing cold?
I think he's on the hot seat. Um, I think his cheeks are a little toasty at the moment. Um, I hope when you start a sentence with hope, it's not looking good for that coach. I
Mm-hmm.
think the Texans, they might find a new coach there. I hope they give him at least one more year, but we'll see. I think he's on the hot seat.
I'm gonna add another on top of all these questions. If you were the Texans, would you fire him?
Mm. No, like I said earlier in the last segment, I believe in Levy Smith. I think he is past his prime. I don't think he's the long term answer there, but I don't think you can go back to back head coaches firing. I don't
Well,
think
Josh
that's the
McCown's on
deal.
that.
I don't.
I don't know. Josh McCown is pretty available right now. If that happens, I'll be so
Give
upset.
him. He
Give him a
should not
coordinator
be a head
job
coach.
first. Give him a coordinator job
Give him a
first.
coordinator. Let him be a quarterback. Let him go through the ranks as they should. Quarterback coach, offense coordinator, head coach. That's the role he needs to take.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
no, I think he's on the hot seat. I wouldn't fire him,
I
but I
think he's
think
on a
the
hot seat as
Texans
well.
might.
Sadly, and I also would not fire him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean the Chargers. Brandon Staley. You fire is he on the hot seat, warm seat, or freezing cold?
I think he's warm seat. The reason why I say warm seat is the Chargers are still in the playoff hunt. If they don't make the playoffs this year and you don't make the playoffs 2 years in a row with Justin Herbert and that squad, you should be fired. I don't care. I don't I don't mind him. He's not proved enough to me. He's one of the worst defenses with one of the best defensive casts. He's a defensive person. You cannot have one of the worst defenses with some of the best defensive players and still keep your job. And so if they make the playoffs, I think he buys himself another year, but I think he's on the warm seat.
What if he goes one and done in the playoffs? Like, and it's a bad one and done. Like he goes up against, let's say he's in the AFC. Let's say it's Chargers and Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
Titans. Let's say that's the matchup, and your defense
Mm-hmm.
lets up 150 yards of Derrick Henry, and maybe 180
Which is very
to Ryan
possible.
Tannehill, which is very possible. So 150 to Derrick Henry, 180 to Ryan Tannehill, and 2 touchdowns, and you lose by let's say you lose by 10 points. Are you
Points.
are you say he's one and done? You got beat up by Derrick Henry after all these
It's
signings and draft picks. What's your answer?
Most people don't look at stats, they look at the score. At
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, what was the score at the end of the game? Like you said, if that's 10 points that they're in it, I don't think he's fired. If it's 20 plus, I
Oh,
think
it's gone, gone.
there's a good chance he's fired.
Yeah, he's gone.
But
And would you clear house as the owner? Would you fire the GM too? What's his name? It's
I can't
Testa.
think of his name.
It's Testa. It's not Testaverde.
Is he the one that drafted Herbert?
Yes, yes, he is the one that drafted Herbert. He's been there for like five or
Give
six
him one more year.
years.
Give him 1 year, but I'd give him very limited options in the head coaching. I would hire a outside expert. I would give him options. I would keep him in the room, but I would definitely not give him 100% control on the next hire.
Yeah, because he's. I mean, he did. He the thing is he Brandon Staley was his first real hire because
Mm-hmm.
he inherited Anthony Lynn, fired Anthony Lynn in 2019. Then you draft Justin Herbert. Like he's had a good track record of drafting.
Mm-hmm. The drafts have been good.
So yeah,
It's
I think
similar
he's on
to
the warm
Ryan
seat.
Pace, the
Yep,
Bears. I didn't mind him as a GM. I really
he's
didn't.
terrible
His
hiring
downfall
coaches.
was Trubisky and the coaches.
I think it's the coaches. I think Trubisky give Trubisky whatever coaching you did in 2018 and 2019.
Sean McVay.
I don't know what happened, but
I'm
for
a
some
Sean
reason
McVay.
it fell off. Yeah, give him Sean McVay. He's
Yeah,
easily.
the reason they went that direction, they went with John Fox.
Yep.
I don't mind him. I think he was a good coach in the NFL. I think he was past his prime and he proved it in that spot.
Yep. He has to be a fun one. The Las Vegas Raiders. Are you hot seat, warm seat, or cold seat on Josh McDaniels with the Las Vegas Raiders?
Wouldn't call it cold seat, but I think it's not a cool seat. I think it's the beginning of when I don't know if you some of you have a power smart cars. When you turn on the hot seats, I don't. My mom does. I'm not rich enough for that yet, but when you have heated seats and it
Must say,
just
since when do you have an
starts
EV, bro?
going, it just starts going a little bit. I think that's a seat position. I don't think the Raiders ownership wants to go back to back
Nope.
firings. I think they trust him enough to realize, okay, we still have a good squad. Let's give him a few more chances. I think he'll be back next year.
Mm. Let me find a good one that we haven't talked about already. Um, oh, the Colts. So
The Colts,
I'm not gonna say hot, warm, or cold. Do you re-sign Jeff Saturday at the end of the season? Do you re-sign him to a one, even if it's a 1 year, like, hey, we'll give you one more year. Do what you can in 1 year. What are you saying?
they win this week.
They
Did they win
lost
this week?
by no. It was the Colts Steelers. They lost because they didn't call a timeout. That's why they lost. They did not call a
That's
timeout.
tough.
So that is a
I was about
coach's
to say I
fault.
didn't watch that game, so I didn't know.
It is game
It's coaching
management.
fault.
It was the
Yeah,
coach's
it's game
fault.
management, 100%.
And he even owned up
He's
to it. He
he's a
said it's
young
my fault.
coach. Yeah, yeah. But I was really hoping he won, so I could say he's an undefeated coach.
2 weeks in.
I mean, it wouldn't be wrong. But do you have a good coaching candidate in the offseason? If you have the stud, if you have your future, no, I don't see him being re-signed. If there's not a stud, if there's not a person, I'm a good offensive coordinator, good coordinators around him, surround him with good staff. Let him know. Don't be the bad guy. Let him know this is a one season deal. Run the ship for us this year. I don't think you could do a better game manager right now. Who are you going to put? Rex Ryan in that position? Come on. You going to put John Fox in that position for a year? What coach are you going to put in there for a year and then fire?
I
I
think
don't think you do a complete race at that team.
I think it all depends on what the draft idea is. If they are going into this draft saying we are trading up for Will Levis, we are taking Tanner McKee, we are taking Tyler Van Dyke, or somehow by God's grace we are trading up to a number 2 overall pick and taking either Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. I think no matter what, it all depends on if you are going into this draft knowing you're taking a quarterback high, then you fire. I think you don't go Jeff Saturday. But if
Well,
you're
he was an offensive player. Listen, if you do want a young quarterback or young offensive player, he played center for the best quarterback, arguably top three of all
two,
time.
two of the best quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Luck was hurt a lot,
No, it was
but
it was it was. Oh, you're talking about just Aaron
did he play
Rodgers.
with Andrew Luck?
I think he
He played.
played with Peyton Manning, and then he went to the
Okay,
Rod. Then I think he did both. I think he did all three. I think he did all
Rodgers
three.
or Brett Favre?
I think he did Manning, Luck, Rodgers. I think he did all three.
I'm
I
not
know,
sure.
I
I'm
know,
not
I
sure.
know it was Manning. I know it was
I know
Manning.
it
It
was
wasn't
Manning.
Luck.
I know it's Rodgers.
I think it might have Luck might have been in there for 1 or 2 years.
Maybe. I really truly couldn't say.
Yeah, I
But
don't
you
know
get
either.
Peyton Manning in there as not a coordinator, but
He's not
some
going anything.
advisor.
No, he's a Denver Bronco owner.
He'll do it for
He
Jeff
owns
Saturday.
no he
Eh,
owns the Denver Broncos. You can't do that.
who
No, you
doesn't
can't
care?
do that. He's a co-owner of the Denver
He does
Broncos
know.
now.
He doesn't. It does. He doesn't have any license and
Yes, it does. That's literally what
sign
it
that
is.
matter.
That's what it is. If anything,
Should be breaking.
he's the
I need to be
Broncos' next
shown
head
the
coach.
rule.
If anything, he's the Broncos' next head coach. That's what it would be. He is not going back to the Colts. If Jeff Saturday keeps if they keep their current staff, but with Jeff Saturday as head coach, I think they cannot draft a quarterback this year. They cannot. Because that is going to mess the
I don't
quarterback
disagree
up
with
so
that.
much. This upcoming season, if they do keep Jeff Saturday, is one of our coordinators a head coach material? Is our offensive coordinator or our defensive coordinator? Can we retain them
I don't think they
past
do.
2024? But
Yeah.
I don't think they re-sign him. I think he's one and done or 8 games and done this year.
I think you should really take a hard look on any team that's in the coaching conversation at Harbaugh. Done a great job with Michigan. He's got him going. I'd give him a hard look if I was any team.
I would immediately hire Luke Fickell. He was Cincinnati's head coach. He just got signed to Wisconsin. I would give Luke Fickell a head coaching job in the NFL today. But obviously, you're not now. He just got signed to Wisconsin. He's got
He's not
poached.
going anywhere.
Yeah, he's gonna be in Wisconsin for the next 5 years.
Harbaugh came onto a plane. He thought he had the Vikings job.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. I completely
Came
forgot
out
about
with
that.
all the swag. He was like ready to go.
Oh my
This is
lord,
plan.
I cannot remember.
He had a deal. The
He
Bears
did.
and him. This is not known. He had a deal on the offer with the Bears. He said, he want a similar deal that, what's his name, had with the Raiders, a 10-year deal.
Harbaugh.
I'm
No,
your
it's
coach for the
Gruden.
next-
Gruden.
Thank you, Gruden. Year deal. I think he wanted like close to 500 million. I think he wanted like crazy numbers.
What?
I think he wanted big boy like quarterback numbers. Exact numbers haven't been released yet.
Well, I mean, he probably wanted his
He
exact
wanted
contract in
record-breaking.
Michigan. He wanted his
He
Michigan
wanted
contract.
record-breaking. Yeah, he wanted record-breaking numbers.
I wonder what's his Michigan contract. I'm gonna Google it real quick because I'm sure he just wanted his exact contract, but to go to the NFL. That's
No, I
John,
don't think his
right?
Michigan contract's good.
No, it's Jim. Jim Harbaugh.
It's Jim. It's Jim. It's Jim.
Jim
John is our name.
Harbaugh salary. Yeah, he makes 7.6 million. So he probably wanted 10 million a year. And they're like, dude, the last time you were in the NFL, you
that
fizzled
would
out
be
with this field 49ers.
He didn't. It wasn't his fault. That was his GM. He went 8-8 his last year.
I don't know, man. Because they hired Chip Kelly right after him. They ruined
And they
Kaepernick's career.
had,
I think they both sucked. I mean, I think they both sucked. I'm not a big fan of Jim Harbaugh. So that's just me.
he'd be
But-
my pick for an NFL coach next.
What-
I have more reasons. We can talk about that in another episode.
So final team. The Denver Broncos, obviously they're on a very, very, very hot seat. I think he's gone after this season. I'm not going to ask that question. If you're the GM of the Broncos, I forgot his name. I believe it's Pat something. Pat Bowen or something. If you're their GM, who are you personally hiring to fix this for next year? Because Russ is signed for 5-6 years. It's Russell Wilson or nothing. Who are you signing? Who are you trading for? Like you can trade for coaches. Are you making an offer to another team, like for an offensive coordinator? Are you saying, "Hey, Rams, you guys suck. Here's what 2 second-round picks and a very, very future first for Sean McVay. Hey, whatever team, we're gonna
Good idea.
trade." What are you doing as a person, as a GM, to get Russell Wilson fixed?
I'm looking at who Russell wants.
Well, he wanted Haskett, Nathaniel Hackett. He wanted him.
Go find him. Find him another guy that's like that he's comfortable with, whoever it is. You need a coach that Russell and him work well together. Russell's your future. You can't trade Russell now. You can't figure anything else out. You put all your chips on the table with Russ, and you go for that. Whatever Russ wants, give it to him. And I don't know if you do a blockbuster trade. You don't have a lot of trade capital to go offer, go get Sean McVay. I mean, that would be a blockbuster trade. Who are you going to trade for it? I mean, you don't want to give away picks. You already give a lot of picks. You don't want to give away players because you want to be a Super Bowl win now team. That's a tough
I was
position
just
to be
giving
in.
an example that you can trade with someone.
No, that's 100%. That would be a smart. If they had
It's been
picks-
years. It's been years since that's happened. It's been since Gruden got traded to Tampa Bay. It's been literally almost 20 years since this has happened.
Be very exciting. I think more teams should do that, but I don't think this is the situation for the Broncos. I don't think trading. I'd look hard in the college. I don't think Jim Harbaugh would be a good fit there.
What
I
about
don't
his
think-
former offensive coordinator Shane Waldron with the Seahawks? Because
What-
Waldron was
Where's he at
handpicked.
now?
He's in Seattle still. He was handpicked by Russell Wilson to get promoted to offensive coordinator, to where then Russ had a really good season. So would you look at Shane
I think
Waldron?
you give an interview. I think you give an interview. I think it's definitely in the books, and if he kills that interview, hire him on the spot.
Because I mean he's
Press comfortable.
he knows how to fix him.
Yeah.
He's the one that made the offense for him. That's what I would do. I would personally look at Shane Waldron. Again,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a very interesting spot. As much as I don't like him, because you said his name, I think Jim Harbaugh, his offense would be a good fit for Russ. As much as I don't
Yeah.
like him as a coach, that's an offense I think Russ would thrive in.
I think he would be a good pick. I don't think. Here's the issue that I would have with him. It'd be a tough sell for the Broncos to convince him to leave. Right now, number 2 ranked Michigan.
For one of
Come
the
to the
worst teams in the
Broncos.
NFL. Yeah, for one of the worst teams.
He's going to the 49ers. He's going to a big name, not the 49ers because he already coached there, but he's going to a big name NFL team if he decides to leave. That's why he was going to go to the Vikings. He liked the roster, he liked the team. He knew he could win with it.
Yeah.
Now, Russell Wilson's your selling point with that one. That's plain simple. We'll see. I think it's a very interesting coaching position. As the teams come up, we'll do a deeper dive into that conversation. But